The American Community College Trustees Association had its annual leadership, will have its annual leadership congress in October, the 22nd to the 25th. It will be downtown in Chicago. And the CLC is entitled to one vote during that congress, so we need to decide who will serve as the voting delegate and who will serve as the alternate delegate.
I would nominate Barbara Oberschlager.
As the voting delegate?
Yes. She is the state coordinator for ACC.
Right, she's managing our share of what's going on down there. So is that all right with you? Yes. And an alternate? And we'll look at the alternate?
Well, only if she doesn't show up, but she'll show up.
Unless it's in conflict with something else. Yes.
Well, yeah, you never know. Sometimes it is in conflict with something you want to attend, so.
I'll nominate Richard Gaines.
Okay.
Second.
So we have Trustee Oberschlager as the delegate and Trustee Anderson as the alternate.
Madam Chairman, may I give an update on the ACCT as well?
Yeah.
I have some information.
Oh, on what's going on in October?
Yeah.
Sure.
As you know, we put a call out for some ambassadors, and I'm happy to say that Illinois actually really stepped up to the plate. We had a total of 48 ambassadors representing 12 states, and actually 15 are from Illinois, and I know myself and Trustee Gashgarian will both be ambassadors there as well. But I think more importantly, we put a call out to Illinois community colleges to actually participate their schools in the event. We have a number of schools that are going to be presenting a steel drum band and a jazz band, but I'm happy to say that College of Lake County, our CLC singers are actually going to be performing at, I believe, the ACCT reception on Thursday night, which is a great honor. And I also understand, and I'll probably look at Karen or Derek, I understand CLC has volunteered a couple of folks to help throughout the convention as well, but I have no idea who those are. The other thing that you may not know, this board is very, very engaged and involved in many of the conferences that we put on, to the fact that we are presenters, and I think this is noteworthy. We have Trustee Anderson on Wednesday is going to be part of a panel that is a pre-academy for board chairs and other trustees to talk about the fundamentals of effective board leadership. We also have Amanda and Jerry on Thursday. They're going to be giving a session on sustainability. We also have our very own Annabelle TV and our former student trustee Kendall Welton. They're both going to be presenting together on Thursday talking about student involvement, which is fantastic. I'm going to be presenting on Friday with a colleague on pathways transitioning from secondary to post-secondary. Let me see, Trustee Gashgarian and Jerry are going to be doing a session on international education. That's going to be on Friday. And I think that's probably it, but thank you all for submitting to be presenters. I think we have a really, really great representation there, and it's going to be a great conference. ICCT is going to be meeting at the same time that ACCT is as well, while we're in Chicago, trying to cut down on meeting and travel expenses as well. So please look at your programs when you get there to see. It's going to be a great conference.
It looks like it's shaping up to be something really good. And it should showcase CLC and Chicago very well, so it's exciting. As far as other meeting attendance is concerned, a number of us went to Bloomington Normal on September 12th and 13th for the ICCTA seminar and meetings. Got a wealth of information from there. Trustee Oberschlager and myself and Trustee Gashgarian attended a number of things. Bella Tide, our student trustee, was there with the student issues. Trustee Anderson came the second day and was there also in his role as our liaison. I brought back a ton of information. Thanks to our counsel, Riley's firm, they put on a great presentation in terms of things that we need to deal with. I have so much here that it's kind of crazy, but Robbins and Schwartz did session strategic bargaining, social media in the workplace, Title IX compliance, construction and bidding issues, and we spent a whole day going through all of these things. We also dealt with legal issues and how to run for office and things that you should or should not do when you're running for an elected trustee position. They had a whole handout on that. In addition, we got a book. I think you missed this one.
No, actually, Jim Nolan and I have been friends for 40 years, so it was nice to see.
We got this book, Fixing Illinois, which is like an oxymoron, but he did a presentation on all of the things that are happening in Illinois and gave some insight into whether or not he thought they could be fixed, where he thought things should go in terms of where we are with financial and other issues. And then the Community Trustees Association had an effective governance and leadership to improve student equity and success, making good on the promise of the open door. So all in all, it was an excellent conference. We spent a lot of time sitting and listening and taking notes. The trustee roundtable was great. There was a lot of discussion, and if Trustee Olschlager and Trustee Kacharian want to add to the participation that you were in that Trustee Anderson was not.
Yeah, I just thought, I think you covered it very well. The sessions were very, very beneficial, and I always look forward to our legal counsel putting on a session. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, your firm is going to be sponsoring a reception at the ACCT in downtown Chicago as well, so thank you for that. That's fantastic. I'll talk a couple things about the Board of Reps meeting that took place on Saturday morning. We had a presentation, it's kind of a preview by Dr. Karen Hunter Anderson on Illinois' new economic impact study. It's not ready for release yet, probably will be out in November, I believe. But not only is the economic impact study going to be for the state of Illinois, they're drilling down to also give back the economic impact for each one of the 39 community college districts in Illinois as well. So I'll be anxious to see what CLC's looks like. We also set our priorities for the year as a state association, looking at, of course, monitoring what's going on with community colleges awarding of baccalaureate degrees. There's a lot of discussion going on about that. Price of textbooks is an ongoing conversation as well, as is what to do with the information from the economic impact study. We got a bit of an update on the pension reform. Who knows what's going on with that at this particular time, but there should be some more information out within the next month or so. So we'll keep you posted on that. That was pretty much the purpose.
Actually, I was on vacation at the other end of the country, but
Maybe there.
maybe Trustee Anderson might want to talk about his presence.
Yes, I was
For the
going to ask
time I was
Trustee
there.
Anderson next.
For the time I was there.
You were there doing your representative duties.
Jim Nolan, who wrote the book, I met him 41 years ago. I was a young guy then. He was there with his wife-to-be, the daughter of the community college president, Forrest Etheridge. And Forrest Etheridge went on to become a state senator and passed away a few years ago. But Jim Nolan's always had a warm spot in his heart for community colleges, and that was one of the reasons that he was at our seminar. So Jim is just a great guy and very positive about community colleges. We had, government relations Friday evening, and we had the executive committee met Saturday morning, and then probably we'll give an extra report. Our president has really called out the textbook issue in the state of Illinois is one of his big issues, as Trustee Oschlager said. And it's something he really wants to work on. So he's looking at best practices and seeing if we can, throughout the state, do more for students as far as textbooks go. I just wanted to highlight that because that is his big goal this year. But thank you.
And then I'm on the diversity committee for ICCTA, and I attended the meeting for that group. We're looking at a new way of defining diversity because we think that the focus has become too narrow, and there's going to be some new guidelines coming out. I've already given those to Dr. Weber, and we're already designating in terms of having the things that we do here on campus be put into a bid for the diversity award that comes through ICCTA for next year. But diversity is not just ethnic or geographic, it's also age, it's also gender, it's also whether it's a first-time student from a family. We do a lot of things here at CLC that I think we should be recognized for, that we need. I think we've designated people to look into compiling all of this so that we can submit an application for this award for next year. We didn't for this year, and I think we do enough based on what other winners have done that I think that we can be right in there along with everybody else, and it should be an award that we should go after, especially with as diverse as our community is in all the different areas. So. Finally, I attended a conference at Lamb's Farm this last week that was put on by the Early Childhood Development Association in conjunction with Voices for Illinois Children. I was asked to attend and speak on behalf of CLC as an educator. We had people there from all the different areas of education, also from the YMCA, YWCA. There were about 12 elected officials who were there. One of the things that they were doing was looking at the Voices for Illinois Children Children's Health Study that just came out. It's a pretty good sized pamphlet, and it shows the impact of starting early. My take on that when I went in as a spokesperson for the CLC was that what they're doing down here at the preschool levels on up affect us in terms of the students that we get coming to us. And I shared some of the statistics and things that we have about college readiness and about where students are coming from and about the at-risk students that we get from the high schools, and also shared with them what we're doing in terms of trying to partner now with various high schools where we're trying to get more of an inroad in either dual credit programs with going in and getting college readiness programs, and even looking at middle schools and not just high schools, because obviously the earlier that we can get students engaged, the better they're going to be if we get them into the post-secondary level. So those were the things that we all were involved in. As a board agenda announcement, we have a revised 11.1.3 separation agreement at your places that will be held for closed session. And I will request a closed meeting under the Illinois compiled statutes 5 ILCS 120, Section 2C1, the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the public body, and Section 2C5, the purchase or lease of real property for the use of the public body. There will be action after the closed meeting, and that concludes the chairman's report. So we will now move on to the president's report.
I got a question. The textbook issue, I applaud the faculty for working on trying to reduce the cost of textbooks. I saw the note on that. What group is doing that?
You mean the $1 Million Challenge?
Yeah.
It's in social sciences.
Social science.
Under Jeff Jones.
Okay, good. Thank you. Jeff is out there.
He took the day, he took the week off.
Yes, he's not here.
He's resting up for the $1 Million Challenge.
He's trying to find $1 million.
We're going to pour ice over his head?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, we're about to launch an employee campaign, and that same division kind of stepped up to a lot of the faculty there also. Maybe it was to avoid getting pies in their face, but anyway, they stepped up.
They were socially minded.
Is there any,
My question then is on that. So we customize the textbooks instead of having 19 chapters, you have 13. So
Well, that's one possibility.
Okay, well, that was one thing that worked. So, okay, so we reduced the cost there, all right? Does the bookstore then, they still mark it up? I should know this, is the bookstore ours or is it outside? Ours. So we don't have any markups that you would see on the outside from a Follett bookstore or somebody else. Because if we're reducing the cost and customizing the textbooks and the bookstore's still marking it up, we're not getting anything. That was the thought that came to my mind, is that?
Total cost still goes down, because when they're eligible, that way they give a lower price, and then it's a flat markup, so it's still applied to the price, but the total price
It's coming down.
What's the
But
markup? David, what's the markup?
it depends on the area, but it averages about 25%.
But we control that cost. So should we not take a look at this ourselves? Okay.
It's a revenue generator.
Well, I know it's
Sure,
revenue generator,
that's-
but, are we helping the cause, or
Yeah.
can we, or, we should kind of take a look at that at least.
Bill, I think the biggest thing that will help the cause will be open educational resources.
Oh, definitely, no
And
doubt.
many of our faculty are embracing that. And if it's, eliminating one book, or maybe, if it's a discipline that has 2 or 3 books, maybe one of those. That's really, I think, where you're going to do some savings to students. So we have a group of faculty right now that are working on that. We have many faculty who are using OER materials, so we're trying to provide resources for them. We had a group come in to help train them on how to access different OER resources. So.
Thank you.
Is that something we should discuss at our finance retreat, Bill?
Sure, fine with me.
Yes, we actually have the finance retreat with what's happening in the bookstore.
So we are going to discuss it at the finance retreat. Good.
So the social sciences division is doing this department-wide, that's what you're saying, and that's what you're telling us about here, because that's a challenge to that department. But you're also saying a lot of faculty members are doing it.
Across the institution.
So that's what I wanted to know, is how much more widespread is this than, that's a challenge within that particular area, and obviously in social sciences, the kind of text that they have, maybe you could pick and choose chapters. It's not map building on chapters. And then the OER option is probably available in many areas, isn't it?
I would say in almost every discipline, you can use some OER resources.
Especially in the high enrollment, those high enrollment.
High enrollment, high impact courses, you see a lot of materials that are already out there available. It just is a matter of taking them and modifying them.
So it's widespread.
It's across every division. I think we have at least a few faculty who are doing this. Dr. Stomberg has laid out this challenge to try to encourage more folks. I think it's a great strategy.
Maybe it will then encourage other similar to